Do you remember where you were? You know, people always remember where they were and what they were doing at different moments in history. Do you remember where you were and what you were doing when you heard about Bloody Sunday?
I sure do. And Senator Cory Booker reminded me forcefully with his remarks in church today. I was a senior in high school, and I was watching television when there was a interruption, and there was coverage of something I had just never even thought could happen. And you know, I had met Dr. King when I was a freshman in high school, and so I was becoming much more aware of all of the injustice and cruelty that the civil rights movement was, you know, fighting against. And I remember very vividly seeing those pictures from the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Voter suppression in 1965. We had voter suppression targeting the African American community again during your election as president, which you won. But it looks like it's ramping up again for 2020.
I agree.
Isn't it curious that that is coming back? And Russia is targeting African Americans. Where would Putin, or how would he know to target the black vote, do you think?
You know, Mark, I think there are still unanswered questions, but here's what we do know. We know that there was a concerted effort on social media to peddle false information, propaganda, that was aimed at a number of voters, but with a particular targeted effort with African American voters to discourage them from voting. And it was part of a much larger conspiracy to try to sow discord and dissension in our country and to undermine our democratic process and the election. And I keep talking about it because it's not about what happened a couple of years ago. It's about what still is happening. And as I said in the church today, if you don't think that the same forces that were at work in the 2016 election aren't still getting ready to try to sow discord and divisiveness and tilt the election again, you have not been paying attention. So we still have to get more information about everything that was done and who in the Trump orbit was providing information that could be used to target voters. But one of the most terrifically terrible attacks on America, a fraud was committed on our country. And everyone, I don't care what party you are, I don't care where you live, you should be outraged. And we should be doing everything we can to protect and defend the right to vote and, you know, to fight against all of this malicious propaganda.
Almost as if George Wallace, if he had had a foreign power supporting him, right?
Well, I think it's true of any person running for office. If you've got a foreign adversary putting a great big, not just thumb, but foot on the scale in your favor and against your opponent, that is going to tilt the election. And people say all the time, well, how can we be sure it affected? Well, all you have to do is look at the numbers, but more than that, just think, why would the Kremlin be spending so much time and effort if they didn't believe it was going to have an impact? Of course they believed it, and they think that it did. Yeah.
Thank you, Secretary.
Good to talk
Clinton.
to you, as always.
As always.
Three-piece suit jacket.
We have on the same color
Your
for the record. All right, so we appreciate that, and congratulations.
You get around so well, Mark. I love it.
I have to.
I love it.
Well, I love
you.
I love you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.